Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2020 My Team career for the Brazilian Grand Prix today. So spoiler alert, last time out Valtteri Bottas wrapped up the championship in Mexico. Lewis Hamilton can no longer win the title, so the pressure is off for Valtteri in this round. But for us, we are still running near the back in the performance order, the fourth slowest team, or 8th fastest, I think, if you want to look at it in a glass half full kind of way. But anyway, we move on through qualifying, but in the end it doesn't really matter because, well, I messed up and I qualified on a very, very worn engine, so we're going to have to change that, take the penalty, and we'll be starting from the back no matter what we do. So, yeah, that was unfortunate, but that is what we've been dealt with this time. We do actually make it into Q2 on that lap time that we did, slower than Matsushita, but again, that engine was very worn, so that would have cost us a fair amount of time. Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Raikkonen, Russell and Latifi getting knocked out in Q1. We move on to Q2, and you can see I did change a couple of components just to see if we could get away with setting a lap time in Q2 and still qualifying, but unfortunately that didn't work out for us because the actual power unit changing time was longer than the session itself, so that didn't really work out too well for us, and we are out in Q2 along with Nobuharu Matsushita as well, down in 15th position, but Stroll, Ocon, Kvyat and Perez also knocked out in this session, so the racing points not looking too flash this weekend. Carlos Sainz doing a superb job in this one, up in 4th. Ricciardo only just noticed topping that Q2 session, but let's get into the race.
Welcome along then to the place where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner. And it's the place, a year later, that Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's Interlagos, and it's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospects today. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? They've had a fantastic campaign, it's been a wonderful year, and they come into this weekend's Grand Prix as a fully deserving champion.
I agree it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Gasly, Lando Norris and Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty. Albon, Stroll, Perez and Romain Grosjean, Ocon, Leclerc, Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, Sainz, Russell, Kvyat and Nobuharu Matsushita, Magnussen, Latifi, Verstappen and the scientist completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Who was that lovely commentator? Never heard of him before. Anyway, let's go on to the strategy. It's going to be a two sets of softs to a set of mediums, and that seems pretty good to me. The soft tyres we're feeling pretty good around here in practice, so let's see how they are in the race as we get ready to go to the 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a great start versus Nicholas Latifi, but he's going to cover us off just about there on the inside line. He actually goes for a big dive up the inside of just about everyone into the first corner, and he's going to gain probably a good 5-6 positions there as we'll work our way through the first couple of corners. We're still down in last position as we see Magnussen and Verstappen battling away side by side through the first couple of corners. We've got a good exit versus the two of them. We have a look to the inside. Magnussen covers it off. It goes back to the line. Verstappen tries to cover it off, but we go up the inside of both of them into turn 4. and we make the move and move ourselves up into 20th position. Next up is Daniel Kvyat. If we can stay ahead of the two behind us, which we will manage into the next couple of corners, can we make a nice little switch up here on Kvyat? He's stuck in traffic a little bit there, but we can't quite get there on the inside. Magnussen now trying to go around our outside through the middle sector, and we are squeezing him almost off circuit there. He keeps it though on the inside.
Keep pushing. Let's capitalize on that first lap.
And we make a move up the inside of Magnussen into this right-hander uphill, and we maintain that position. Now we are right on the back of Kvyat, and we're going to go up the inside as we head into the final corner, and that will make that move quite easily on Daniel Kvyat. And the next car up ahead is our own teammate Matsushita, so let's see if we can catch him up in the coming laps. So we move on to the end of lap 2. DRS will be enabled soon, but Matsushita is putting a lot of pressure on George Russell up ahead, so we'll see if he can make the move on the Williams. He goes to the inside of Russell and is going to make the move into the first corner, and he'll just about get the done around the outside of turn 2. Good move by Matsushita. Good to see him getting involved and making the overtakes. We don't really get to see a lot of him in these races, so it's great to see that he's getting involved in the action as we go around the outside of Russell relatively easily. They're a little bit off circuit, but we make the move easy enough. He's still there on the outside, but we'll be able to get through on the inside here. A little bit of understeer through there, trying to just carry the speed going into the corner. But we soon enough catch up to our teammate. We have a look up the inside, and we end up backing out of it there into turn 4. We don't want to go on a big aggressive dive on our teammate, but as we continue on towards the center S, once again we are going to go for the move up the inside of our teammate, but we're actually going a little bit too deep. He's going to get a switchback here on the outside line, and Matsushita tries to fight back, but unfortunately for him, not able to keep it around the outside there. But again, great to see that he is getting involved in the action and able to continue the fight there around the outside. Unfortunately, the way the track falls away there, it just was not possible for him to hold on to that ground on the outside line. But it's great to see. Nonetheless, there's a switchback textbook from him. But yeah, we really swept out wide rather quickly there. And but anyway, soon enough we eventually catch up to the other Williams of Latifi. We squeeze down the inside into the center S and make the move on the Canadian, and move ourselves up
Good job, nice overtake.
into 16th position. So we are very quickly making our way through these backmarker cars, and that is Kimi Räikkönen making the move on Giovinazzi. The two Alphas going side by side through the center S, and Kimi Räikkönen gets the ascendancy over his teammate. That's Romain Grosjean holding up both of the Alfa Romeos. So a good qualifying effort from him to start up in I think 10th position for Grosjean. So he is really putting in a good name for himself with some driver retirements coming up. Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen retiring. He may be coming on strong at the end of this season, might catch the attention of some other teams, but we'll see how that plays out. But we go onto the back straight, and we've got a good run on Antonio Giovinazzi. We'll see if we can make the move into the first corner. We've got the DRS open, but we're in a bit of a train at the moment, so if the DRS might not be particularly useful, but we're going to go for the move up the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi and make that move stick. Running out a little bit wide there through the first corner. We weren't quite as close
Great maneuver. You made it look easy.
as we were on to the pass on Matsushita, so in a way that actually made the pass easier, being a bit further back.
We think the car behind might start to have fuel management issues. Let's see if we can use this to our advantage over the next few laps.
And fuel issues for Giovinazzi, so that might explain the lack of pace that he has compared to his teammate. But Kimi Räikkönen is now putting the pressure on Grosjean as we continue on through this race. Round the outside he goes, not quite being able to get there. Grosjean just about covering off that position, but continuing on, we are now putting the pressure on Räikkönen. We're just going to take it easy through these first few corners, and we'll see if we can get a nice little switch through turn 2 and get a good exit through turn 3 and onto the rest of Aposta straight, and Räikkönen trying to do the same thing to Grosjean, but we've got a good run here, and we're going to come from a long way back, dive down the inside of Räikkönen and make the move on the Iceman, and we just have a lot more grip than he does at at the moment, and now we can target Romain Grosjean. So here we go on the straight once again through the last couple of very slight corners. We've got a good run on Grosjean. This should be a pretty easy pass to make. He's going to cover off the inside. We go to the outside. Grosjean comes across our line a little bit, leaves us the space at the last moment, but we've made our own mistake, gone way too deep into the first corner, off onto the grass. Grosjean's going to hold on to the position. We're going to lose the spot to Raikkonen as well, and we're only just going to stay ahead of Giovinazzi, so that's a bit of a disaster for us there. Trying to gain a spot, we end up losing one, but we've got DRS from Raikkonen. We're going to see if we can go up the inside into turn 4, and we'll make that move stick on Kimi Raikkonen, and we're able to immediately get that position back. But yeah, we can now focus once again on Romain Grosjean as we head towards turn 4. We go to the inside, he leaves us just enough room to get up the inside, and we make that move on Grosjean. Nice fair racing there between us, and we eventually get the ascendancy over the Frenchman.
Approaching the pit window, you'll be on the softs.
But not a lot of action left in that stint. We do get out.
Gasly behind, they're on fresh mediums. We think they've got one more stop.
Or I should say Gasly comes out of pits behind us, and he'll be held up a little bit, but we're not too worried about him. He's not really in the same race as us, so yeah, we're not really too concerned. But as we continue on towards our pit window, Gasly will make the move to the inside here,
Front is 14.5 seconds.
and we'll see if we can just get a nice tow along in the DRS from Gasly, and that should be able to help us maintain a little bit more speed through the later stages of this stint. We're on old tyres, he's on brand new tyres, so yeah, that it's gonna be a bit of a pace difference as the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel comes out ahead of Gasly. But yeah, we'll see if we can maintain pace with him throughout the rest of this stint, and as you can see, that is actually happening.
Give us the best in lap you can.
As we are now on the in-lap and still within DRS range of Pierre Gasly, so that's really been a very helpful tool for us to pull us along in this race. To be fair though, the cars behind Norris and Ricciardo are on new tyres as well, so we needed that DRS to avoid squabbling with them, but we had a little bit of a swipe across the nose there with Lando Norris, and there was no damage for Norris thankfully, but there was just a bit of a tangle on the way into pit lane. Not really what we want, but we get a nice stop and get out onto
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
get out onto the circuit once again through this very awkward pit exit, and we'll try and make the most of this middle stint and see what the pace is like. We've cleared all of the Hasses, the Alphas, the Williams, and now we can try and shift our attention to the next group of cars. But I'm not really sure what the pace is going to be like compared to them. It might be a bit of a tough ask, but we'll see what we can do in this race as we continue to work our way through, and indeed we move ourselves up into 13th position as the rest of the pit stops in that first round continue to play out. But continuing on, we are overtaken by Max Verstappen. Remember, he started down the back of the field, and yeah, we don't have any way to fight back against him, and Verstappen is through and up into 13th. We're down into 14th. We're not going to be too bothered about that, but we move on once again all the way on to lap 44 in this race. There was nothing happening in that stint, and as we continue on though, Verstappen comes in for a pit stop, and I'm not sure what tyres he's going onto, but that seems a bit early, so I don't know, maybe he's doing a 3-stop on 3 sets of softs.
Let's box this lap.
Not really sure, but yeah, Verstappen not with the ideal strategy, I don't think.
Leading our teammate by 9.0 seconds.
Or at the very least, he's pitting a couple of laps earlier than us. Maybe he's just got more worn tyres. We did have a lot of fresh, soft tyres, to be fair to us, after qualifying, or not qualifying, as the case was. But anyway, into the pits we go for our final stop of the day, and we'll go on to the medium compound to finish this race off.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
And we'll re-emerge down in 18th with a lot of pit stops left for the Alfa Romeos and the other cars ahead left to play out. But I've just noticed, like in the top there, Albon is not terribly far ahead of us, and I've noticed he seems to be lacking a bit of pace, especially compared to Verstappen, who's flying through the field. Albon has been dropping, so he might be holding some people up, and maybe that can help us catch up to some more cars in this race. But yeah, I'm surprised to see Albon down as low as he is, so he may have some kind of issue, and that may play into our hands at some point in this race. But we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, we've gotten ourselves back up into 14th position with Norris and Verstappen. Oh, and Bottas, the safety car is out, and that is Bottas out of the race with mechanical failure. He will be very glad he wrapped up the championship last time out, because that would be a huge blow. But yeah, thankfully for him, he's already got the title secured. But yeah, Bottas out of the race. The championship winner will not finish the Brazilian Grand Prix. But yeah, Hamilton, despite leading, it will be too little too late. And now we move on to the safety car restart, and we get a good one versus Lando Norris as we go back to green flag running. He goes defensive. We go to the right hand side. He's got to get held up there by the Williams of Nicholas Latifi, and we're going to make that move very easily. Norris with some good reactions to avoid a crash, but you could see the Williams a lap down there. Norris gets overtaken by Fiat as well. There's the other Williams of George Russell moving out the way as Fiat actually goes for a move on us in the middle sector. We managed to hold him off there and maintain the position ahead of Daniel Fiat, but the lap cars are causing a bit of chaos here as we get past Kevin Magnussen, and now Grosjean's held up Verstappen. We have to go around the outside off circuit there to get past Grosjean and Verstappen as they were tangling on the exit there of that right-hander in the middle sector, and we've made the move there and made the way up into 11th position in this race. Verstappen would be furious with Grosjean in this race, so we'll have to maybe watch out for him. But yeah, we've really been gifted that position, and now this is Lance Stroll up ahead of us, putting pressure on Alexander Albon, and we've got some very good pace versus Albon, it seems, but we've got to wait for Lance Stroll to potentially make the move. He goes to the outside as we head towards the center S, and he's gonna just about get there. He's just about got the nose in. Albon has to leave the room through turn 2. Here we go on board with Lance Stroll on the outside of turn 3. Albon tries to squeeze him off, but Stroll's having none of it. He's going to continue the fight along the straight, and clearly deploying a lot of energy and fuel to get that position, as well as having the DRS open as we get a little hit from Max Verstappen. Stroll's got the move done on Alexander Albon, and here's the onboard with Max Verstappen. Just about gets to the inside. We squeezed him a little bit too much there. I was completely unaware that he was there, and yeah, that's Max Verstappen going for a bit of a half spin. I'm not sure if he has any damage or not, but now we can try to chase after.
Teammate behind is 2.6 seconds.
We can chase after Alex Albon, because he is not as fast in a straight line as Stroll. Stroll would be very, very hard to overtake, but here we go along the straight to the outside of Alex Albon, and it's barely even a competition. He tries to fight back on the inside there, to be fair to him, but yeah, we make that move pretty easily. So I'm not sure if Albon's got some kind of issue or just not having a good day. And that is another mechanical failure in this race. This time it's Lando Norris in the McLaren, and he pulls off the track at turn 5 or 6. I'm not exactly sure how they counted, to be honest, but he pulls off the track there, and he will not finish the Brazilian Grand Prix. But moving on now to lap 70, the penultimate lap of the race. Lance Stroll is in a bit of a train ahead of us, and he's got Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez up ahead, so he's got a bit of DRS from the cars ahead. There's even a car ahead of Perez, so it's a 4-car train coming up for us, and we may be able to snag another position in this race as we try to chase down Lance Stroll. But look how close he is to Charles Leclerc. Surely he's going to be able to make a move here along the straight. Does he have any fuel and ERS left to deploy along the straight? It doesn't seem like it. He's just not able to close up to Leclerc. The straight line speed of that Ferrari is probably better than the Red Bull, so it will be harder for him to make that kind of overtake. But you can see he is so close behind him through this double right-hander, and he's surely going to try and make a move. It has to be on the run to the line. There's not really any other opportunities left around the circuit. Sergio Perez is holding up Leclerc a little bit as well, so maybe the Racing Point's trying to work together to get that position for Lance Stroll, but it doesn't seem to be working for them at the moment, as Leclerc has just broken away just slightly in these last few corners. Stroll's going to try and get a good exit here. We've equally tried to get a good one against Lance Stroll, and it's actually worked for us as we head towards the finish line around the final couple of corners. We have a good run on Lance Stroll. He covers the inside. We've got to go to the outside towards the finish line. We're going to be side by side across the line, and I don't know if we quite got there. Yes, we did. P9. Unbelievable. That was so close with Lance Stroll there, and we just about nose ahead as we cross the line. We're going to have to see the time there, because that was unbelievably close. I'm out of breath. Whew.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So it is victory for Lewis Hamilton today. Daniel Ricciardo is going to finish P2 for Renault. A storming drive for him, and it's going to be Sebastian Vettel in third for Ferrari.
Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the scientists. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
1,000th of a second is all that separated us and Lance Stroll as we cross the line. That is a photo finish. That is as close as it can ever get, and unbelievably, it's well, almost the third time it's happened between myself and Lance Stroll. I don't know what it is about the two of us in the F1 games, but I'll put the clips on screen right now. But F1 2019 dead heat with Lance Stroll, 0,000ths of a second between us in Canada, and then literally the last video I posted, the career mode video in Canada. Yeah, another super close finish with Lance Stroll, but yeah, this one finally we managed to beat him on one of those runs to the line. Unbelievable. I cannot fathom how we managed that 3 times with Lance Stroll. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But yeah, other than that though, it was a great race for us, and we did manage to come through from last on the grid to 9th position, and got driver of the day, and well, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the day's work. I think we probably could have managed to get through some of the slower cars a bit better. There were a few mistakes at the start of the race which cost us some time, but in the end I don't think we really could have done much better overall. That safety car really brought us in contention when we weren't really, we were in the middle of nowhere, to be completely honest. There was nothing for us to do at that point in the race, but the safety car, it got us ahead of Norris on the restart when he got caught up behind the Williams, and then yeah, Verstappen getting caught up behind Grosjean. It all just went our way at the end, which is yeah, very helpful. But yeah, crazy race. Can't believe it. There is the super close finish across the line. Whew. But anyway, I actually took a look at the photo mode at the end there, and well, I don't know which part of the finish line is actually the timing point, whether it's at the start or the end or somewhere in the middle of that checkered line on the ground, but in whatever case, that is, well, you can't pick a winner out of that, and crazy. But anyway.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Yeah, we had some really good pace today in our car, and yeah, we obviously made the most of the safety car as well.
You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
Well, I guess it's possible. You'll have to tell me what your expectations were.
Appreciate your time.
Going with the cheeky answer as ever. But anyway, we'll get... we weren't quite... we've just got to level 14, so we're not going to advance to another level there. But we get all of our team bonuses, another $1.2 million in the bank. So that is very nice to see. 17.5 mil in the bank now.
This week's income from the sponsors has cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
And we have some sponsors to re-sign, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to stick with all the sponsors that we have at the moment. But first we sort out the activity timeline. We're going to do quite a long sponsor event, and that is the in-depth factory tour. We'll also do vehicle PR filming to boost up our acclaim as much as possible. The sponsor contract that ran out was DSB Optics, and we're going to go with them once again. But after all that, we just went in and saved a few of our upgrades for next season, and hopefully all the work we're putting in now to adapt our improvements to the car should give us a head start in Season 2. But as we fast forward through the activity timeline, we get this message that the save file has become corrupted, which I was incredibly worried about, but I don't actually know specifically what that meant. And well, in the end I actually went ahead and I've already done the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the time of recording this, and I can tell you that everything is completely fine. Nothing terrible happened to my save file, so that is some good news for us. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that message was, but anyway. But other than that, there is nothing else left to cover. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the season finale. Thank you, and goodbye.